Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome.
This is Mr. Chris Claremont, a legend.
Melanie goes,
Tired.
How's it going, all you Minties? Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. And join me today for my overview of one of my most anticipated titles of the year, and that is Port of Earth. This is the deluxe edition hardcover from Image Comics. So let's go ahead and get started. And welcome back, everybody. So what we're looking at here is the deluxe edition of Port of Earth. I have talked about this book on my channel. This is what it looks like compared to the trade paperbacks over a series of 3 trade paperbacks. And this being a deluxe edition, meaning that it is as tall and as wide as an omnibus release. So these trades are the size, or the trim size rather, of single issues. So let's take a closer look at the book itself. Port of Earth, Zack Kaplan, Andrea Mutti, Vladimir Popov, and Jordan Boyd. Here's your cover right here, which actually shows a Port of Earth. And the image logo, Port of Earth Deluxe Edition, Zack Kaplan, Andrea Mutti, Vladimir Popov, and Jordan Boyd. The top cow logo down at the bottom. And here's the back of the book with praise for the book all over the place, from Comic Crusaders, Monkeys Fighting Robots, Impulse Gamer. What if aliens came to Earth not in war or peace, but with a business deal? That is the premise of the book, the image and top cow logo, ISBN. Retail price being $45.99. Now, I have been pushing this book, hate using the word pushing, but that might be the best way to put it, for 5 years now. Ever since I've read the first trade paperback and I fell in love with it. It's been part of my hidden gems. It's been part of my most anticipated books of 2024. By the way, part 2 of that, now that we have the rest of the releases, the top 30 most anticipated graphic novels of 2024. I think it's top 30. Yeah, that will be coming out next week. But let's go back to this. Port of Earth. Let's talk about the fact that it has a flat spine. Just like most of the Image Deluxe editions. There is no dust jacket. It's just art on board. And we are going to crack this open. I'm going to give you the pitch of the story without going too much into spoilers, because I like for people to be surprised, especially with stories like this. Then we'll talk about the extras in the build of the book. Let's get this book open. You have end sheets right there, the title, Port of Earth, and of course, the creators. And this right here, I believe, is the location of the actual Port of Earth, the intergalactic location. Zack Kaplan, Andrea Mutti, Vladimir Popov, Jordan Boyd, and Troy Patiri doing the lettering. And your table of contents right here, and telling you where each of these chapters will begin, the ESA database, and the cover gallery. So you do have page numbers at the bottom. Here's your Earth Security Agency. This is the warning right here. Alien visitors may not understand human forms of communication. Do not interact with them. It may lead to deadly situations. If you see an alien visitor, respect their rights and contact the ESA for their safe return to port. Report a sighting. So we'll talk a little bit about that here. But first, what is collected in here? This collects the 12-issue maxi series, Port of Earth. And it has 336 pages, retailing for $45.99. Now, the way this starts is the way that each of these issues will start, with the exception of a couple, but I want people to be surprised. I'm not going to say which ones. It starts in a historical little breakdown as to how things happen in the past. And what you learn is that, as the back of the book stated, aliens have come to Earth not to make peace, not to make war, not to take over, eat us, or anything like that, but with a business proposition. And the business proposition is that they are going to use Earth, mainly the San Francisco area, as a port for different alien races to come and dock their ships and then go on about their business. And what they use as supply, like fuel supply, is water. So we have a lot of that. We have an overabundance of it. Some may argue that we don't. I don't know. But when a lot of... Anyway, I'm not here to debate how much of the world is made up of water, but we have a lot of it, and in the not-so-distant future, we made a deal with the aliens. Now, the deal is that the aliens are supposed to stay on the port. They're not supposed to leave the port. So it's kind of like a layover. You know, like you have an international flight, and it's Probably because I've just been traveling that I'm comparing it to that. But you're stuck in Chicago. You're not supposed to leave Chicago until your plane takes off. Why would you want to? You could miss your connecting flight. Don't miss your connecting flight. Damn it, Delta. It's not anyway, I'm going off on Delta. It wasn't their fault. It was Mother Nature. Where the hell was I? Oh, yes. The ports. So aliens are not supposed to leave the ports. Neither are humans outside of the SA supposed to come in and check out what's going on in these ports. Now, a few years ago, 3 aliens decided, man, I'm going to go and check out what Earth is like. And a lot of horrible things happened. Destruction, chaos, a lot of Earthlings died. So these aliens were killed. Now, this is where things get really interesting because you would think that the alien group that first approached us, known as the Consortium, it would be like the equivalent of the Intergalactic Federation of Planets, right? Like, oh, it's all the planets getting together, shaking hands, they're all wonderful to each other. No, the Consortium is more like a business. It's more like a Exxon. It's like, hey, we made a deal with you guys to keep the peace and use you as a port, and then Earth was like, hey, we made a deal with you guys, your aliens aren't supposed to leave the port. We had some humans killed, and they lost 3 of their clients. That's the way they see them. They don't see them as like aliens, brothers and sisters. No, they're just clients. It's a business. So what they decided to do was institute this thing called the ESA, the Earth Security, Secure Uncanny Omar talk pretty one day. It's what you saw at the very beginning right here, the Earth Security Agency. And that's where this leaves us. So a couple of years after this event where we have some dead aliens, we meet pretty much our 2 characters. We have Eric McIntyre, this blonde guy right here, and then the brunette right here. This is George Rice. And both of them work for the ESA. Now, during this event, they're being followed by, not really paparazzi, but it's this event where they're being followed by a droid that's capturing everything they're doing. They get a call to investigate some kind of alien leaving the territory of the port that they're not supposed to. So, of course, both of them are like, man, nothing's happened in some years. What are we talking about here? This is probably just a prank call. So they go and investigate. And they find out that it wasn't just a prank call. Something's going on where maybe an alien got out and maybe some humans had something to do with it. Now, there are rules, right? If an alien, is to break out of the port and is supposed to be brought back, as the very beginning states, says, respect their rights and contact the ESA for their safe return to port. So they are supposed to be brought back in without lethal force. And they do have rights because they're intergalactic being and protected by these intergalactic rights. And that's where things get interesting. And that's all I want to say about it, that there is an alien running around, but where it came from and what exactly it wants becomes this whole mystery. And with only 12 issues, in a little bit, I'm not going to lie, because I've compared this to sometimes like watching CNN or any news broadcast, it does feel like that. A lot of the history, the backup story, or sometimes the current events are done through a series of just interviews from the past or perhaps from present day, or present day is what is known here. But it does go deep into the story that you start not trusting people because yes, it's very nice of us to let the aliens use us as a port. But what was in it for us? Well, we know we got some technology, right? Like, we know we got technology out of the deal. We know that we got alien technology that we could build our own ships and obviously our own armor, but also our own weapons. Now, whenever you're dealing with human beings, you all know these stories, right? You've seen Alien Nation, or you've seen District 9, like, humans are not to be trusted. So when the government gets involved and working with aliens, of course there are secrets. And there's a reason why humans aren't allowed in the port. And the secrets start expanding and expanding as to who exactly is pulling the strings, what exactly is going on, where this alien came from. And the cast remains very small, though. For the most part, it is just Eric and George. We get a couple of other characters, but mainly it's both of them that we see the story through their eyes. And there's just 12 chapters, so I'm just going to skip a little bit to the back here to talk about these extras. So in the back, you get the ESA database. So you get the galaxy map to show you where Earth is and where some of these other planets that are part of this deal are, the different alien races, and some of the involvement they've had. Here's actually a quick breakdown of the ESA personnel. So there's Rice and McIntyre and Tom Rutgers, who I didn't talk about because he doesn't really play a big part. And you see what I mean when I said that this doesn't take that far into the distant future. These guys were born in 96 and 89. And some protocols, the ships. I do have to give credit where credit is due. I'm a big fan of Andrea Mutti's artwork. The tones that he uses are just amazing. The sketchiness, yet detailed art. I love the designs of the aliens. Whenever you do see or at least whenever I saw an alien, I would get excited because it would be like a different race of this particular alien. And I hadn't seen one before. So he gets really creative with the character designs. And there's all the covers and variant covers. And a little bit of the bio on the creators and the Zack Kaplan Eclipse and Metal Society there and other Top Cow books. But yes, I do love the artwork here. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like early Tony Moore artwork. The only downside to it is that sometimes whenever you get a bunch of the ESA agents together, you do get a little lost in the art as to who is who. But for the most part, when you're just dealing with two of the main characters being humans and the rest of the cast being aliens, it's easy to follow. Now, let's talk about the binding here. 336 pages. It is sewn binding and printed in this thick, glossy paper stock. So, not really any kind of spread pages through here. Outside of it, just a few like this. So just wanted to show you how it lays over with that sewn binding and that eye for 336 pages. Really minimal gutter loss. Now, I did want to bring attention really quick to Vladimir Popov's and Jordan Boyd's colors because I really think they bring the whole package together. I love these just tones that they use throughout the book because it has like almost like a serious feel to it, almost like a documentary, a war documentary that's going on. And I think that has a lot to do with the colors that are being used through here. They're not over the top. It's not super colorful, but it's just got this bland tone throughout the whole series. I think just brings it together really nicely. But that's it. That's what Port of Earth is. And that, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing this deluxe edition, don't forget to check out our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content, the page count, and build of this book. Let me know in the comments down below if you picked it up because you just love deluxe edition hardcovers, if you love Image Comics, or you love Top Cow Comics, or you're just a fan of Zack Kaplan or Andrea Mutti. If you've read Port of Earth, what you think about the story, and what other Top Cow books you would love to see get the deluxe edition treatment. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. Check us out on Patreon and Spreadshop. Amazing ways to support the channel. Everyone stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.